Nowadays, rapid fat loss is frowned upon in the fitness industry.
But if you don't want to have a fucking frown on your face all summer long, you're gonna have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Your typical 200 to 300 calorie deficit realistically isn't going to be worth the fuck here. Because you're on such a time crunch, you're going to have to crunch down on my follow button for advice from someone who's actually done this shit before. And you're going to have to crunch down on how many calories you're consuming as well. Aim for a 500 to 1000 calorie deficit and accept the fact that you're going to hate your life a little. And fuck, you don't have to eat in a deficit for life. Doing 8 to 10,000 sets per day probably isn't going to cut it. You're likely going to have to push that up to 12 to 15k. On top of that, some low intensity cardio and resistance training too. If you do decide to take this aggressive dieting approach, chances are you'll have fuck all energy, fuck all flexibility, and an inability to get it up. But if you feel like the trade-offs are worth it, then by all means go ahead.